Hello, everyone. Now, before we get on with that, I just want to say to everyone, Merry Christmas, guys. Tell me in the comments below what you guys did. So, you read the title. I'm finally giving you my top 10 favorite albums of all time. This list took me so long to order, so long to pick the albums, so long to restrict myself to the 2 albums per band. Because on this list, I think there's 3 bands with more than 1 album. Now, before we get into the top 10, I set myself some rules. So like I said, it's a maximum of 2 albums per band. So all genres are fair game. Now, I'm not just what's the word I'm looking for? Excluding this to metal, because as you can see, it's of all time. We got mostly metal, of course. We got rap, classic rock. Oh, there's one more thing I'm missing. Rap, classic rock, and punk. So get ready for that. Now, I have a lot of honorable mentions here, because when I was preparing for this list, I had 18, 20, 25 albums, and I of course needed to squish it down to 10. Now, a lot of the honorable mentions are actually albums from bands that already did make it on here twice, and just wanted to give a quick shout out. So the honorable mentions are Iron Maiden's Somewhere in Time, Iron Maiden's Brave New World, Train of Thought by Dream Theater, Ride the Lightning by Metallica, Painkiller by Judas Priest, Still Life by Opeth, Individual Thought Patterns by Death, South of Heaven by Slayer, and Ghost Reveries from Opeth. Now, I've also got some metal t-shirts beside me, and I will show you each time. So, with that in mind, I got this Somewhere in Time shirt recently. Look at that. It's exactly the same on the other side. Now, one of the albums in the hour I've been awake, I actually couldn't find my shirt, and it's kind of driving me mad. Anyway, on to the actual top 10. So, for number 10, we're doing a bit of a weird one right out of the gate, because on paper it's not really an album I should like. We're talking about the band Pink Floyd. Now, I've listened to about 7 Pink Floyd albums. A couple of them are pretty good. Wish You Were Here was awesome. Metal was really hit and miss. Dark Side of the Moon didn't really grab me. I know that's kind of illegal to say, isn't it, when you're a prog fan. The album we're actually talking about absolutely blew me away. We're talking about The Wall. Now, I said... Okay, that's another thing I forgot to mention. We are doing a track by track, because, come on, basically every song on all of these albums I adore. So, we've got to break it down song by song. Now, since The Wall is, 25, 26? I think it's 26 songs. We're not doing all of them. So here I have 11 that really stick out to me. Starting with In the Flesh. This one sets the stage so well for this amazing concept album. You got the typical Pink Floyd stuff. It's really bluesy. There's no vocals for a long time. It's got a really good swing groove to it. And right out of the bat, it just shows you how large the soundscape is across this entire album. And the lyrics, oh my god, it's all so good. So, then we get to Another Brick in the Wall Part 1. At first I was kind of like, this song kind of just drags. What are we doing? Can we move on? And now, I think it's perfect. Because it's a giant part of the Pink Floyd sound to just kind of hang out on stuff for a little while. And then it just builds and explodes. Now, there's a few other songs in between that, which I'm not really going to get into. Because then we come to the big boy of the album. Probably the most popular song on this album. Yeah, definitely is. Another Brick of the Wall Part 2. With that really weird music video, and all the kids are in masks, and then it's got the whole school choir and everything. Come on, it's another Brick of the Wall Part 2. I don't need to tell you how good this song is. So now, after a few more tracks, the album takes a really dark turn. And if you've seen the movie, this song has got some of the weirdest visuals you will ever see. Like, it's horror movie tier scary. We're talking about Goodbye Blue Sky. I love the chord work in this song. It starts off really happy and hopeful, and then straight away it just becomes dark and scary. I love that it sticks to acoustic guitar for most of the song as well. That's another really cool thing about this album. Pink Floyd tackle so many different genres. It's insane. You get the blues, you get the rock, the psychedelic rock, the prog, jazz, funk. It's ridiculous. There's even symphonic parts, orchestras, choirs. I've listened to this album maybe 7 or 8 times now, and it's just floors me every time. Speaking of really bluesy songs, how about Young Lust? All I'll say about it is it's just a fun song. Enough said. Alright, here we get to the real star of the album, and one of my absolute favourite songs of all time. We're of course talking about Comfortably Numb. What a beautiful, beautiful song. All the different orchestral instruments in the background. The way that it just sticks to a really simple structure and a simple tempo the whole time. All the different little chord changes. Both guitar solos. The lyrics. I won't really get into the concept behind the wall because I simply don't know it. We're going to be talking about 2 more concept albums. Yeah. Better just reset where we're up to. Yep. And the other 2 I have a much better grasp of because I've tried piecing together the story myself and it just doesn't work. It's... Alright, what do we got next? The Trial. Now, I normally don't like musicals, and this song kind of channels musicals, which begs the question of why I like The Astonishing so much. Anyway, The Trial is a fun one. It just almost wraps up everything. And then we get to Outside the Wall, which has always caught me as a bit of a weird one. It finishes the album with the wall falling down, I think. Again, I don't have that good of a grasp of the story, so I could be wrong here. And it's just got a really hopeful feel. And the way that they let it fade out is great. I love it when albums just fade out at the end. Just like 2 we'll be getting to? Yep. So, we are straight away doing a bit of a left turn in genres again. We talked about the one punk album on this list. Now, I'm not that deep into punk. I do want to get into it though, because it seems like a really cool genre. Because, early punk is just like really, really, really aggressive rock, and that sounds fun. And of course, punk inspired thrash metal, which is awesome. And we'll be discussing some thrash metal later on. So, we're looking more at the pop punk style of things. Giant band with, 13 albums? It's a concept album. And if you guessed that the album is American Idiot, good on you. I love this album, bro. Straight away kicking it off with American Idiot. A very, very typical kind of pop punk song, but oh my god, it works so good. It's one of the first guitar solos I ever learned. The drum fill in the middle is great. It just works so well as an overture for this album. You get a sense that this guy just hates America. What's the main character's name again? St. Jimmy, yeah. And he, of course, calls himself the Jesus of Suburbia. We'll get to that song in a second. And I'm now out of coffee. God damn it. So, from American Idiot, which has an awesome music video, just putting it out there, we get to a song that floors me every single time. that a pop punk band could pull off this near 10-minute song so well, all the different parts all meshed together. Now, as far as the story goes, you can already tell that Jimmy is in a very, very weird place. And, again, just like The Wall, this album tackles so many soundscapes, which we'll get into. It's Jesus of Suburbia, I don't need to tell you about it. Then we actually arrive at what is my favourite Green Day song, Holiday. Oh, also, again, just like The Wall, I'm just kind of going to pick out certain songs, because it's maybe the album on this list I've listened to the least times. No, it's probably The Wall, actually. The Wall I've listened to maybe 8 times. I reckon it maybe 9 times. The Wall's kind of a commitment since it's so long. Which is weird, because like, basically every single other album on this list is over an hour, so that's a bit weird to say. Anyway. Holiday is probably my favourite Green Day song. No, definitely is. Just all the different riffs in it, lyrics. Again, Jimmy's in a bit of a weird place. Just kind of doing his own thing. Doesn't really care about the rest of the world. And is, well, going on holiday. And as soon as you get into Boulevard of Broken Dreams, the next song, which actually bleeds straight into From Holiday. As far as the story goes, I believe it's Jimmy just walking, kind of like, oh god, life sucks right now. And much like Holiday, it just flows beautifully. Then we come to another song, just like I said with Pink Floyd, a song that I didn't really like at first. Then on repeat listens, I was like, yeah, this is good. That is Are We the Waiting? I do really love the drum beat that Trey, is it? Yeah. For some reason I always get Trey and Mike mixed up, even though they play completely different instruments. Anyway, I love the drum beat to this song, and the giant amount of layers on the vocals when they're singing Are We the Waiting, the line itself. Then we get to the second half of the song, which is Saint Jimmy. Easily the punkiest song here. And it's like, what, just a minute and a half long? Just wants to punch you in the face. And transition from Are We the Waiting to Saint Jimmy, it floors me every time. What have we got next? Again, I'm kind of just picking out. Now, the next 4 or 5 songs, Extraordinary Girl, Give Me Novocaine, what was it called? She's a Rebel, they're all kind of like songs to me. Again, I've listened to this album maybe 9 times, where everything else I've listened to like at least 15 times. Or, yeah, definitely about that many times. Now we get to Extraordinary Girl, which is another one that kind of surprises me, just with the drum beat. With all the different effects on it. It literally just sounds like a bongo drum. Next, we're at a song that I don't really want to talk about, because, you know, it's great. Wake Me Up When September Ends. Oh my god. And easily one of the saddest songs ever made. Oh my god. Now, one other thing I also forgot to mention in the rules is that I normally don't like compilation records. Most of the time the selection of songs is not that great. And they just kind of pick bad songs. They just flat out pick bad songs sometimes. Which, this one definitely does have a couple of bad songs. We are talking about the only rap album here. That is Curtain Call from Eminem. I'm a big Eminem fan, in case I haven't said it. I listened to all the albums. Most of them were good. There's a couple that were kind of bland. Overall, though, this guy's a legend. There's no other way of putting it. I actually do want to get more into rap. I've been listening to... Hang on a second. I'm listening to some Dr. Dre recently, actually. Some NWA. So, let's track by track. Right off the bat, we get to one of the songs that's just flat out not good. That's Fack. I don't even want to comment on it. Lucky for us, though, the very next song is The Way I Am. I adore this song. Just like most of the album, it's kind of Eminem just being all like, I hate the music business. You guys have just got to leave me alone. And it's one of the few songs that was done completely by Eminem. Even the production was done by Eminem. I've actually got this album on CD somewhere. And I was looking at the writing credits because I was just bored out of my mind sitting in my mom's car. Because that's what the CD used to be. I heard this song and it said produced and written by Eminem. I was like, good job. So yeah, what else? This song tackles a lot. It's also got a really strange music video. The bit where Eminem is just like falling out of the sky from the building. Yeah, that's about all I need to say. My name is. This song is awesome. It's so dumb. And it's part of what makes it really good. And the censored version completely butchers it. Oh my god. Most censored versions just get rid of the swearing, right? This one gets rid of everything. It gets rid of, like, words relating to violence, words relating to alcohol. It's absolutely stupid. And once again, an amazing music video. Then we come to Stan. I just noticed that my three favorite Eminem songs are right next to each other. With the exception of Shake That, which we'll get to. Anyway, Stan, what an amazing story. Lyrically, I think it's just one of the best songs ever made. The way that the story develops, the way that Eminem's obsessive fan slowly gets more and more crazy, and you can feel it through the song as well. And the chorus by Dido, I always thought that was kind of throwaway. The line where it's like, it reminds me that it's not so bad. That kind of fits the character Stan. Because, you know, he's in a rough place. And the morning rain clouds up my window, that's just kind of a distraction for Stan. That's at least my theory. And the way that the song just ends with Eminem saying damn, and then you hear the car crash. Oh my god. I've got a cousin who's a fellow Eminem fan. We both just listened to this, and by the end we were just like I was listening to it for about the 50th time or something like that, and it still gets to me that it's amazing. Now we come to a song which unfortunately the meme community loves, which bugs me, because we're talking about Lose Yourself. Oh, much like Stan, I consider it a perfect song. It's Lose Yourself. I don't need to tell you about this song. I simply do not. Then we get to Shake That, which is also kind of a dumb song. No, it's a very dumb song. What am I talking about? It's fun though. So, Eminem's got a lot of really dumb songs. Some of them you're like, are you kidding? Whereas other times they're actually really fun. Just like, there are some shadiest on this album. Yeah, we'll get to that. Sing for the Moment. Just like Lose Yourself and Stan. Those three songs are absolutely my top three Eminem songs. They're all brilliantly written. The backing track is great, which is really important in rap for me. If your backing track is bad, I'll probably listen to about a minute before I'm just like, ugh, make it stop. Anyway. Oh wait, did we discuss an album that I've got a shirt for? The next one is actually Sing for the Moment though. It samples the Aerosmith song, it's called Dream On. And it fits so well. As normal, we got, for this period at least, we got Eminem detailing a really interesting story about kind of the aspiring rappers in life who don't really have a chance. And that's awesome. I remember I was such a giant Eminem fan that I actually tried writing my own raps at one point. They were all terrible. And I wrote them down on paper, right? I just ended up burning them because I was like, oh, this is terrible. again, it's a song I don't think I really need to tell you about. Without Me, yet again, another really dumb song. That's just so much fun. Especially the chorus in the section. This is also one of those songs where Eminem's just taking jabs at everyone, and it's so funny. And once again, they absolutely nailed it with the music video. It's amazing. You got Batman and Robin for a good chunk of it, going to some kid's house to tell them not to listen to the album because it's got swearing on it or something like that. Oh, it's so good. Just all round a great song. You see why this album is on here? They just nail it with basically every single song. Next we get to Like Toy Soldiers, which when I was first getting into Eminem, I actually really didn't like this song. I do now though. I'm just not really going to comment on it. The rest Slim Shady. Enough said. Oh, here's another hard one to listen to, bro. Mockingbird. So ridiculously sad. Sometimes I listen to this song and I'm just like, oh, it's so beautiful and sad. Just Eminem basically telling to his two kids. Or did Eminem only have one kid at the time? Anyway, basically just telling his kids to not worry about me. To know that I'm here for you. Oh god, it's making me sad right now. We gotta move on. Guilty Conscience. Man. Oh. The addition of... Was it Dr. Dre? Dr. Dre's on this song, right? The inclusion of Dr. Dre is so good. Like I said, we're getting into Dr. Dre. Where are we? Oh yeah. He's just got such amazing flow and delivery. And to pair that with Eminem, someone who also has amazing flow and delivery, it's great. And the way that they're just all inside other people's heads, kind of playing with their thought processes. There's the guy who's debating to rob a liquor store. There's the guy who's like getting in bed with an underage girl. There's... What's the other one? Oh yeah, someone walks home and... Oh yeah, someone walks home to a caravan and someone's getting cheated on. And then Eminem and Dr. Dre like, hey, what do we do? What do we do? Do we kill the woman? Do we kill the man? Do we just go along with it? And both sides of the argument in most of the verses make sense. Although you do kind of tend to lean more towards Dr. Dre's side, because he's the one who's probably objectively correct on most of the situations. I'm just in awe of these songs. They're all so good. Except for Fack. Ugh. Despise that song. Especially since Eminem is just going the whole time, and it's just like, stop. Sort of push your highlighter in your ear. I don't know. Just got you there. OBS just had a stroke. Oh my god. If you pause it real quick there, you'd have seen what's coming up next. For all you Dream Theater and Metallica fans out there. So now we are at cleaning out my closet. Another great song where Eminem's just kind of reflecting on the relationship between him and what's Eminem's mum name? That. Another song with an awesome backing. Yet the wind sounds the xylophone, is it? I don't know. And the guitar and the bass, it's all so good. As normal with this period of Eminem, the lyrics are stupidly clever. The flow is top notch. The phrasing and everything is so good. Ugh. In the world of rap, I think Eminem is simply untouchable. Even after what 11 records, the guy still delivers almost every time. One other thing I've noticed about Eminem is that he's kind of got a more modern spin on rapping these days. Not, of course, in a negative way, because so many rappers these days are just terrible. And the lyrics, oh. I might actually do a rant one day about modern rap, because it's just terrible. Every now and then there's a cool song. But, you know what I mean. Just Lose It, another song like Fact that I simply just don't want to talk about, because it's bad. When I'm Gone, lyrically really similar to Mockingbird. And Cleaning Out My Closet, so, just be repeating myself. Okay, next up we have another shirt to show you. And funny enough, the first two shirts I actually accidentally put in the correct order. Because I have all my rock and metal shirts on a stack right next to my normal clothes, right? And I just flat out picked them all up. Anyway. Oh, that's right, I have two shirts for this album. So first off, we got this one. The original art for And Justice for All. Hello. Justice for All, yep. Just with a slightly different colour, as you can see. It's a bit dark. I love this shirt, because the Injustice for All cover is probably my favourite album cover by Metallica. It's just so detailed and it fits the subject matter of the music really well. Now with this one, this is an awesome version, because Lady Justice is a skeleton. God damn, that's cool. And what does it say? Their money tips our scales again. I love this shirt. Oh, it just looks like something out of Dark Souls. Which is great, of course. Maybe I should have worn one of my metal shirts, because I'm just wearing my Game of Thrones shirt, which tends to show up a lot on the channel. Anyway, we're getting into some Metallica now. And we will be getting into Metallica again a lot later. You know which album it is. I've said about 39 times at this point what my favourite album of all time is. Now, I'm going to just skip over a few of these songs. Let's delete the songs that I talked about recently, because I just did my top 20 Metallica songs, so go watch that if you want my thoughts on One, Days, Eve, and Blackened. So, that leaves us with going straight to the title track. One of the longest Metallica songs. I think it is the longest. Or is it Afraid? No. It's either that or To Live Is To Die. I'm not sure which one it is. Whichever one it is, though, it's only the longest by about 15 seconds. Anyway, the title track. This sprawling technical thrash metal song. Again, with the political lyrics. Which most of the time I don't really have a problem with. Because it's thrash metal, you don't care about the lyrics. You just want it to be slamming in your face. Now that I'm realizing it, I don't have any death metal albums in here. Damn, that's annoying. Quick shout out to Obscura by Gorguts and Altars of Madness from Morbid Angel. A band I plan to rank at some point. That being Morbid Angel. Because, wow. I'm talking about death metal now, we're talking about Metallica. I pretty much said it already. And Justice for All has a great mix of the slow and fast. The quick measures of 7/4 and 3/4. Oh my god. This album from a songwriting perspective is probably the band's best. I probably lean more towards Master of Puppets, because we'll get there. I almost don't even want to talk about my top 2 albums, because I've already talked about them so many times. I will, though, just for the sake of it. Eye of the Beholder, that's one that... a lot of these songs, since most of them are long, and they're just so technical and twisted, Most of them don't stick with me too much, and Eye of the Beholder is kind of one of them. While it's on though, I'm like, yes, this is awesome. So, next we go into the shortest straw. I love the intro. How it's just like bum bum bum. Bum 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 bum. Again, with all the different weird timings and quick measures of 3/4 and 7/4. Across this entire album, the riffs are just fantastic. From a riff perspective, it might be the best Metallica album. I don't know. Again, my my raging love for Master of Puppets is kind of like, no, it's not. Master of Puppets is best in every way. Not quite every single way. Next we get to a song which for some reason I didn't really get to. Because I used to be that annoying guy who, when I was listening to an album, I'd pick out the songs I already knew and not listen to the songs that I'd never heard before. So I finally said, man up, Ben, you're listening to the whole thing. And then Harvester of Sorrow came on. It kicked my head in. The comment I made about the riffs before, every riff in Harvester of Sorrow is fantastic. Just the slow string skipping riff at the start. Kirk's guitar solo stands out as one of Kirk's best. Easily. Oh, the Fragrance of Sanity. This has what I think is one of the best Metallica riffs, and that's the chorus riff, the one that's like And again, such a good solo from Kirk. And I must say, vocally, this is probably the best Metallica album. James has like this borderline death growl kind of scream to his voice in most of the songs. It's really cool. So now we come to the instrumental, To Live Is To Die. It is definitely a little bit overlong. It could easily be about a minute and a half shorter. What you do get though is simply gorgeous, actually. Simply gorgeous. The intro with all the acoustic guitars, then as soon as the distorted guitars start fading in, you're like, oh god, this is going to be bad. It's amazing though. Alright. Time for all you prog metal fans to have some fun, because we're talking about 2 prog metal albums in a row. And one of the above albums, people argue, is a flat-out death metal album. Okay. You do you. And one that I really, really, really want on a t-shirt. It might actually be a birthday present for myself. Because my birthday, so today, we're at December the 21st, right? 28th, rather. This is my birthday, February the 5th. It's pretty close. We're talking about Systematic Chaos from Dream Theater. Oh my god. So these albums up here, right? I'd probably give all of them a 9. Repentance is this... Hang on, what? Systematic Chaos is this close to a 10. I'll get into why it isn't in a bit longer. Oh, this album, front to back, with the exception of one song, is simply brilliant. I love all of these songs. And the longer songs on the album, they need more time with me. They're still awesome though. Kicking off In the Presence of Enemies Part 1. Oh. One of my absolute favourite Dream Theater songs. So technical, so proggy. All the different sections all meshed together. And a minute and a half straight shred between John and Jordan is amazing. The lyrics in part 2 kind of aren't that great. In part 1 though, I mean, they are great lyrics, they just get a little bit silly. It's In the Presence of Enemies Part 1. if you're a Dream Theater fan, you know that this song is so good. I know that a lot of the people who watch me don't like Dream Theater. I know that you do, Red Pig. Okay, what have we got now? Forsaken. Was this a radio song? I hope it was. Wait, what's that? Also, for number 3 and 4, when we get to it, we kind of have a two-way tie. For reasons I'll get into. Anyway, Forsaken. One of the coolest piano intros the band has ever done. There's only a few. There's what? Learning to Live, Space Diverse. I saw another one. The Root of All Evil. What's the other one I thought of? Learning to Live. 6 o'clock. Even though there's kind of good drums in it. Anyway. Forsaken, I actually confused a long time with Wait for Sleep, which is another brilliant song. And the lyrics and the music video, it's all so good. Proof to the non-prog metal fans that Dream Theater can write awesome short songs as well. Speaking of awesome short-ish songs, Constant Motion. The closest the Dream Theater ever get to straight up thrash metal, and it's glorious. That metal bridge with that ridiculously fast riff and the guitar solo over it, the bass and the guitar just being in perfect use, and the chorus, the verse riff. Oh, the verse riff is so good. And the intro with Mike just on the hi-hats and everything. Oh my god. This is probably like the most positive video I'm ever going to make. Alright. On to one of the heaviest Dream Theater songs. The Dark Eternal Night. Oh my god. When they sat down to write this song, they must have had a similar mindset to Train of Thought. In the words of Mike Portnoy, I love me some prog, but every now and then I just want something heavy to headbang to. And The Dark Eternal Night is absolutely something that's heavy and good to headbang to. The chorus is just huge, with JP playing a whole bunch of big chords. And I love that they just deliver most of the really shreddy proggy stuff is at the start and the middle. I love it when Dream Theater do that. Pretty often it's at the end of a song. When it's right in the middle though, it hits so hard. And the final riff. Oh. And then the keyboard solo over it. Oh, it's so good. Alright, here's where the album comes to a screeching halt. And the only reason I don't give this album a perfect 10 out of 10. Repentance is a song I have tried to like time and time again, since I love every single other song on this album. I just can't. It's so repetitive and overlong. The 3 or 4 different riffs, it's not enough to sell an 11-minute song. Credit where credit's due though. The lyrics to this song is so good. It's like straight in the middle for 12 Step Suite. It's the second last song. And you can tell that the character, Mike Portnoy, is just in a stage of regret and sadness and loneliness. And it's just so depressing. I'll give it credit for that. It's depressing, yet it doesn't come off as being overly depressing. Which a lot of bands do fall into. Dream Theater does as well. Looking at you, every single ballad on Falling into Infinity. And it's just too long and repetitive. That's what most of my criticisms boil down to. Oh, and the guest cameos? Dave Ellefson of Megadeth, Mikkel from Opeth, Corey from Slipknot. Oh, and they all do like voiceovers from therapists or something. And the ending when Brutus just hits that giant piano note is glorious. Oh, hang on. Now, when people talk about Systematic Chaos, this is the song that people point out as being awful sometimes. I don't understand why. With Repentance, I can understand it because I don't like that song either. And that song is Prophets of War. It's a political song, which a lot of people get turned off by. It's about... The lyrics basically boil down to, why do we need war? It's pointless, people die. But all the different riffs, and James singing a lot like Matt Bellamy from Muse, that's cool. Like, the band was listening to a lot of Muse at the time, Origin of Symmetry, Absolution. It sounds like Muse at the start, and it's so good. Playing like harmonic minor arpeggios on the keys. The chorus has even got Muse vibes. The verse absolutely doesn't though. And Labrie, absolutely nails it on this song. And again, a lot of people don't like Labrie. I don't understand that actually. Can the guy sing that well anymore though? No. Then again, he's been singing with permanently damaged vocal cords for 27 years now. As soon as I found that out, I was like, oh, okay. Kind of makes sense now. Okay, now we get to the two long boys of the album. Starting with The Ministry of Lost Souls. This is the song I mentioned that is super sad. It doesn't come off as being overly... What was the word I used before? Overly sad to the point of being cheesy. The Ministry of Lost Souls. A fictional story about someone who drowned in a lake, I think? The main character of the story regrets that they couldn't help the person who drowned in the lake. And there's videos on the internet of how this song is just like your typical 4-chord song structure just getting flipped on its head. Flipped. And for the most part, every single solo in this song is easy. Just super melodic. And very depressing, just like the rest of this song. And the middle, 5 or 6 minutes, where it just gets hilariously technical, is just stunning. Then we come to one of the longest Dream Theater songs, one of the weirdest, one of the most technical, one of the most epic, which is a word I normally refrain from using, but in this case it's definitely warranted. In the Presence of Enemies, Part 2. The near 17-minute song to cap off this absolutely glorious Dream Theater album. Okay, we're still looking okay. I love this album so much. It's a 9.75 out of 10. I never give 0.75 or 0.25 scores out of 10. By the way, these top 6 albums? No, top 5. They're all perfect 10s to me. There's only like 1 or 2 songs that don't really grab me. Then the rest are brilliant. So this is a 9, this is a 9, this is a 9. 9. 9.75. So we're jumping pretty much a whole rating. Anyway, where were we? In the Presence of Enemies Part 2. If I did have to bitch about something, it's the intro. It's so long. It doesn't get to the point quick enough. When it does, though, we get these weird reversed keyboards. Because the opening of this song is creepy. And we just get Mi-young laying down the key, I believe. Mi-young's hanging out in B, just going boom, ding, ding, ding. And it sets the stage so well. So we get to the first album that I would give a perfect 10 to. It's an album I find myself coming back to almost once a month at this point. And it's the album I mentioned where I could not find my t-shirt. I went through the washing machines, through my drawers, through everywhere. I could not find it. This album has been my screensaver for a long time. And it's a band I recently ranked. We are, of course, talking about the legendary death metal band, even though this is not a death metal album, The Sound of Perseverance. By this point, Chuck was tired of the death metal label. I say it like this because this is not a death metal album to me. Except for, of course, it having death metal vocals. Alright, let's track by track this guy, because this one is brilliant. Opening of Scavenger of Human Sorrow. My favorite death song ever. It's so good. It's so good. I just became Italian. It's so good. What? Again, just hilariously technical at every turn. The song structures are insane. The time signatures. This actually goes for the whole album, except for one song. Voice of the Soul. So hilariously technical. So proggy. The transitions, the tempo changes. It's all on point. Musicianship on point. Songwriting, guitar solos, bass playing, drumming, lyrics, vocals. Everything is just perfect on this album and on this song. The riff underneath the solo has got to be one of the coolest riffs that Chuck has ever written. The intro guitar solo, the intro drum fill, the opening riff in the super uncomfortable 9/8 to 6/8 groove. It's like, what is it? 2 bars of 9/8, a bar of 6, bar of 9, bar of 12. Oh, and the bit where it gets super fast in the middle, then it goes into the do 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 do. Oh, just so good. Now we're going to bite the pain. With opening with that really cool tapping lick. And the riff that's like
I told you once.
Oh, it's so good. No, wait, that's Flesh of the Paraholes, isn't it? That is one trap of this album. Since every song except for 2 is just so technical and twisted, I kind of forget which song certain parts are from. Which just makes you want to listen to it more now, so you can figure out where it's actually from. Bite the Pain, though. It's so good. Now we come to easily one of the best songs on the album. Then again, basically every song on this album rips. So it's not like that's saying much. Spirit Crusher. As soon as I say the word Spirit Crusher, I just imagine Chuck screaming it. That chorus riff, by the way. Oh, one of the most stupidly heavy riffs ever written. And the slide to it. Again, so hideously technical. And all the transitions and the riffs. I'm just repeating myself at this point. I almost don't even want to track by track the rest of this album. Just because I'm saying the exact same thing every time. Just praising every second of it. So let's skip straight to probably the most unique Death song. Because it sounds absolutely nothing like Death. It sounds more like a Damnation era Opeth song. That is, of course, Voice of the Soul. In the middle of this technical, proggy, death metal elements album, just that they whipped out Voice of the Soul. I just got chills just mentioning it. Oh my god. There is still a tiny bit of coffee left. If you're still watching, we've been recording for 49 minutes now. I got some loyal subscribers out there though. Even though there's only 70 of you. Voice of the Soul, bro. It's just beautiful. Me and my teacher, we actually performed it. That was so much fun. My teacher on acoustic guitar, me on electric. So atmospheric, so beautiful. Could you imagine though if they added drums and bass to this song? It would have just destroyed it. Because the way that you have it with like 5 different guitar layers. Oh, it's so good. It's so sad. Alright, now we've got 2 Slayer albums in a row. I cannot for the life of me pick which one I prefer. They both define thrash metal. They both set a new standard for how heavy music could be. And which two Slayer albums are my favourite? Seasons of the Abyss and Rain and Blood. Let's discuss Seasons first, though. Straight out of the gate, we get to my favourite Slayer song, which if you've seen my Slayer video, you know what it is. It's War Ensemble. Every riff, every vocal pattern, Dave Lombardo being the absolute monster of a drummer that he always is. The solos, I mean, most Slayer solos are kind of random BS. This is one of the few times where I kind of just accept it, because it adds to the stupid amount of aggression that this song has. Slowing it down a bit, we come into Blood Red. Just a really good, slow, groovy song. And again, all the riffs are amazing. Spirit in Black, another song that I've performed. The way that it just explodes into being a stupidly quick thrash song in the middle is awesome. The medium tempo verses and the really cool chorus with the it's so Slayer. There's all those chromatic notes landing on the one and going back to the open string. That's all so good. Expendable Youth, it's a song I'm not really big on. Dead Skin Mask is a song that's kind of overplayed for me. Hallowed Point, though. Oh. Going straight back to the Spirit in Black, War Ensemble kind of feel. Just a thrash song that's doing that to you the whole time. It's amazing. Skeletons of Society kind of just plods along for 4 minutes. I don't like this song. Then straight away we get to Temptation, which is one of the best Slayer songs ever made. Stupidly underrated. No one ever talks about this song. Again, just like what album was it where I said I'd just pick out songs? Then when I finally listened to it, a song just completely blew me away. Justice. I revisited Temptation and it absolutely floored me. This was about 2 or 3 years ago. It's actually one of the most played songs on my Spotify account. It's in the top 50. I should check that up so I can record this, actually. It's just Slayer, it's Slayer at what they do best. And I love the panning effects with Tom's vocals as well. Born of Fire, another stupidly quick and stupidly aggressive Slayer song. Then we get to Seasons in the Abyss, a borderline doom metal song at the start. Just like the title track for my new album. And then it doesn't even really get fast for the rest of the song. By this point, Slayer were playing with slower tempos, and it most of the time sounds good. Skeletons of Society, though, not my thing. So now we come to the big boy. The best straight-ahead thrash metal album ever made, even though Master of Puppets is better. This is the definition of thrash metal. Someone's getting into metal and they say, I want to get into thrash. Boom. Hand them your CD, hand them your vinyl of Rain and Blood. I need this on vinyl. Even though I don't have a record player, I just want it on vinyl. Maybe I'll hang it on my wall somewhere. Oh. I listen to this album about twice a year. Mainly because it's 29 minutes long. I just noticed that the bonus track isn't in here. That being Aggressive Perfector. I'm so hideously forgetful that if I don't write it down, I'll probably forget it. Anyway, Angel of Death, one of the best Slayer songs. The middle riff is one of the coolest riffs that Slayer have ever written. The pretty risky lyrics about the Holocaust and all that. And just a solo and ending final minute that makes no sense, but you still love it. The just straight up bullet train aggression that every song on this album is. Oh my god. This album is so brutal the entire way through. It is unthinkable to me how someone made an album this brutal in 1986. What else came out in 1986? An album we'll be getting to soon. Let's see. Somewhere in Time. Rain and Blood is leagues heavier. Then again, Iron Maiden are just a classic heavy metal band. Don't expect anything heavy from them. Straight into Piece by Piece. Again, every single riff in this song, every single drum beat, every single lyric, all the phrasing, it's all perfect. Enough said. Necrophobic. 1 minute and 40 seconds of blistering thrash. This song is so fast and technical that Slayer couldn't even play it live in their prime. Altar of Sacrifice. Another just stupid heavy and aggressive song the entire way through. That again, they struggle to play live. Sometimes. I'm not trying to dog on them. I love Slayer. Slayer's my third favourite band. My top 3 bands is like Dream Theater, Metallica, Slayer. They're so close to each other. Jesus Saves. One that fools you into being a slow song, and then just gets you in the face in the second half. Criminally Insane. One of the coolest drum intros of all time. When I get a drum kit, which I'll be doing soon, probably, that'll be on my bucket list to learn. I'll probably cheat with it though. Instead of going, I'll probably just go. Aggressive Perfector now. This is one of the bonus tracks from the 30th anniversary reissue, which is a brilliant listen. You get a few extra songs that were not on the original record back in '86. And you get Aggressive Perfector. I think I just said that. Which actually strikes me as a really punky song. Which makes sense, because thrash basically started because of, you know, bands that loved Motorhead, bands that loved punk, bands that loved Venom, all the way faster earlier bands. So it makes sense that there'd be a really punky song in the mix somewhere. Just like the very first Slayer album, it's actually got some punky elements, which is weird. Reborn and Epidemic, they're songs that I'm not that big into, so I'll skip them. Postmortem though, oh, the slowest song overall in this album, even though the ending is stupidly fast. It's one that I know on guitar nearly the whole way through. I should cover this song. Oh, expect that for album number 7. What's the other song I wanted to cover? Blinded by Fear by At the Gates. Slaughter of the Soul. Amazing album, by the way. It's Postmortem. I think it's a perfect song. And then there's Rain and Blood, which I'm not going to talk about because it's Raining Blood. You didn't know about this song. So, well, 10 all the way down to 3 was stupidly hard. Picking my top 2 was hideously easy. These 2 albums are both so close to perfect that I just can't help but listen to them over and over and over. Both have lots of my favorite songs of all time. Both contain everything I like about metal. My second favorite album of all time, probably always will be my second favorite album of all time. Metropolis Part 2, Seeds from a Memory from Dream Theater. Just from the insanely creative story, the stupidly creative songs, the amazing album cover. I'll have to do my top 10 album covers of all time. Because this, Ghost Reveries, and Still Life would absolutely be on that list. Back to Dream Theater though. What an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous album. It's time to track by track it. Regression. A really, really, really weird song with a therapist all talking to you. The clock ticking to get you to go to sleep. And then the acoustic guitar fades in with a chord progression that will come back quite a few times. Most notably through Horizon the Spirit Carries On. Then it fades out into Overture 1928. It's neck and neck with an instrumental we'll get to in a second. My favourite instrumental ever. It's Overture 1928. I think it's a perfect song. Literally every second of this song I love. Then it goes Surrender Strange Deja Vu. Again, a song that I love every single moment of. Through My Words, it's a 1 minute interlude track, which leads into Fatal Tragedy, one of the most insanely chaotic and intense Dream Theater songs that was ever written. The final unison between John and Jordan is absolutely glorious. I want to learn it. Beyond This Life. Long, proggy, complex, all different. Damn, I thought I was back home. All the different riffs, the different acoustic parts in the middle, the parts where it turns to major. Also good. Through Her Eyes, a song I hated at first, and now it's as beautiful, though I'm biased towards this album. Oh, a beautiful ballad, just detailing how Victoria didn't get a proper chance in life. Oh, just, it's so hard. And all the different little guitar lines, the piano from Jordan. At this point, basically my only problem with it is why they decided to go with the drum machine when they have Mike Portnoy, one of the greatest drummers of all time, behind the kit. Next, we get to Home. This is one of the parts in the story. I won't get into the story because I do know it. It's just this video is already hideously long, so I won't get into it. Home, though. Another song which for some reason didn't hit me at first. Then I listened to it a second time, and it instantly became one of my favourites by this band. Instantly. The Dance of Eternity, the first Dream Theater song I ever learned. And I nicknamed this the song that makes you feel like a terrible musician. All different time signature changes, just to make your head spin. One Last Time, one of the shorter songs, but it packs such a big punch. And all the different melodies in it, they all come back in Finally Free. We'll get to Finally Free. Oh, The Spirit Carries On, one of the best ballads ever made. It's right behind Fade to Black by Metallica for me. Again, the acoustic guitar melody from Aggression and Through Her Eyes. Yeah, one of John's best guitar solos, one of Labrie's best vocal performances, the choir, the guest female vocalist. And the line when James is like, it's finally real. I finally feel at peace with the girl in my dreams. Oh, it's all so beautiful. Then we get to Finally Free. Finally Free has got to be one of the greatest closers to any album ever made. It just perfectly wraps up this album. And the ending with all the different sound effects. And you hear Nicholas come home. I think it's Nicholas coming home. Makes a drink. Turns on the radio. And if you listen carefully on the radio, it says something about a young woman being killed. That would have been Victoria. And then the open your eyes, Nicholas. And then it just fades out. God damn, every single time I listen to this album, it just blows me away. And I've listened to it at least 15 times now. But it's not my actual number one album of all time. And it's the final shirt for today. We are, of course, talking about Master of Puppets from Metallica. Yes. Song titles on the back. As you can see, this shirt is so worn away. I've had it since I was like 14, I think. It still fits me though, which is weird, because I think it's a large. I even have this album on CD. That's how much I just downright love every damn second of it. Battery, intense. The acoustic intro is amazing. Just everything is so good on this album. Oh my god. Just Bullet Train Aggression, one of Lars's best drumming performances. The final beat. The way that Lars just half times it and slowly slows it down. Slightly slows it down, rather. Master of Puppets, one of the greatest songs ever made, and a song that I think is perfect. The Thing That Should Not Be, a song I didn't like at first, and now I love it. It's my number one album of all time. One of the heaviest Metallica songs. Every riff is great. The solo is great. Welcome Home Sanitarium, another one of the best metal ballads ever made. The opening riffs, all three guitar solos are amazing. The bridge in the middle, where James is just like, fear of the unknown. Oh, it's all so good. Disposable Heroes, a retelling of someone in war and is just fed up with everything. The riffs, the aggression, the massive solo in the middle, the chorus with the gang vocals, Leper Messiah, a slow, grinding, heavy song with great solos and just all-round great lead parts. Orion, tied with Overture 1920 for my favourite instrumental ever, which gives me a lot of classical vibes. All the solos, the bass solo, all the bass lines, the drum intro with all the bass fading in, the opening where it gets quiet and it's just a chance for all the members to shine, and finally Damage Inc. to end this glorious album. One final piece of thrash to end what will probably always be my number one album of all time. And with all that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.